and welcome. Today we're going to talk about my top 10 things of what not to do when you're in Denmark. So stay tuned. Hi and welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Kelly and I'm an American living in Denmark. I actually want to take a moment to say thank you to all of you who've been supporting me along the way. I've gotten a lot of new subscribers of people who are curious to know what life for me is like here in Denmark from people from all over the world. And then also a lot of really helpful Danes have jumped on board and started subscribing. Thank you so much for being there and helping me with my integration. I really appreciate all of your guidance and your extra tips and suggestions and things. They're really helping me out. So this shout out goes to you new subscribers and lovely Danes who are helping me fit into Denmark. So today our topic is what not to do when you're in Denmark. What is it that I'm expected to do? What are some things that if I do, that's a bad thing? Number one is don't be late. The Danes love punctuality. They love being on time. It's funny because when we lived in the United States, we had some Danish friends. Whenever we would have a party or get together, they would always be the ones who are right on time. So if you ask people to come to your house at 7 o'clock, you would expect the Danes to all show up at 7 o'clock. Not 7:01, not 7:02, they show up at 7. It's actually kind of nice in a way, especially if it's kind of maybe a short gathering. Let's say you're doing a birthday party or something that's gonna maybe last 2 or 3 hours. It really helps move things along if everybody's there at the same time. I know that in the US, we don't really focus so much about punctuality when it comes to social gatherings, and it's not to say that we just throw it out the window. We kind of look at it as an option, I guess. I would have some people over. Come on over at 7. In my mind as an American, I think, okay, well, the party starts at 7, so I can go anytime after that. That's not the case in Denmark. If you're invited somewhere, show up on time. Number 2, don't think that you are better than anybody else when you're in Denmark. And yes, of course, this should be something that's kind of the way you should live your life in a way. Don't put people down. Don't look down on people, things like that. But in Denmark, they have this understood rule of equality of where everybody is exactly the same. So if you are going to join some type of club, maybe it is a golf club or a running group or something that you're doing in your social life, there may be a CEO of a really powerful company in your group. And then there also may be someone who is working an entry-level minimum wage job. It doesn't really matter. They're not checking your income when you are joining different groups. Everybody has the same opportunities, which I think is actually really quite great. So when you are in Denmark, if you are kind of a hoity-toity person who thinks, I have this job and I make this amount of money, so I'm here. There's only here in Denmark. So when you come here, don't think that you are better than anybody else. Actually, you almost want to expect that everybody treats you the same. That leads to number 3, don't brag. If you have all this money and you have this powerful position, you have this fancy car and things, you are not really expected in Denmark to brag about it. People don't like that. Don't brag about the things that you have. It's something that the Danes just don't do. Nobody's going to think that you're really interesting if you do things like that. So just don't do it. But you know what, Denmark? I got a little bone to pick with you, because when we say treating people the same, I'm not sure that you practice what you preach. And before you get all hot and bothered and your panties in a twitch, listen to this. When I talk to people about the fact that I live in Jutland, the peninsula, the farm area perhaps, it depends on where other people are from and they're thinking, why do you want to live there? Okay, Denmark, you are a really small country. This is time to write in the comments. Do you live in a spot in Denmark where you feel that people maybe put you down because of it? I live in a small town, close to a big town, and the people in the big town are like, why did you choose that small town? What? Why do you care? But you know what? I'm curious to know. Put it in the comments. Take a break. Let's take a break. Put it in the comments. Are you from a place that gets judged differently by other people in your own country? This is not an American perspective. This is me going to a dinner party in Copenhagen and talking about this, that, and the other, and like, oh, Jutland. What? It's Denmark. Who cares? I know this probably also happens in every country, but take a moment in the comments and let me know your experience. Are you from Denmark? Do you feel that other places in Denmark judge your region? Give me some ideas about this. Denmark is so small. It blows my mind to think that, okay, I get it. Copenhagen is completely different. And if you ask me, Copenhagen is not what I think of when I think of Denmark. I think of Jutland. Hey ho, Eulandia. Okay? Don't get all hating on me, Copenhageners. But I'm curious. Do you look at people in Jutland a different way? I'm curious. I just want to know. Number 4. This one has to do with personal space. Strangers in public places. If you are on a bus with 40 seats and there are only 2 people on the bus, don't go sit next to those people. If you're waiting for a train, don't go stand next to someone. They want to have their privacy. They might move away from you. But you know what? I think this is very typical of a lot of culture. In the US, you can easily strike up a conversation with people standing in line to use the bathroom. I wouldn't say that happens so much in Denmark. We like to kind of separate strangers from our personal space. Just be aware of that if you're out and about and there are Danes around that you don't know. Don't crowd them. They don't like it. Another one that might help you out at a dinner party or if you're being invited over to someone else's house for a meal is my number 5, and that is do not sit at the table or start eating until someone says, Væsgo. This is what your host, in our case, mom or dad in our house, will say when it is time to go to the table. So this also means that if you're at maybe a big dinner at maybe your company or for, I don't know, like a wedding or something, maybe the table already has all the names on it and you're like, oh, that's where I'm gonna sit. Don't sit there until you've been told Væsgo. You can put your coat there, you can put your purse there, you can set your things down, but you are not allowed to sit or eat unless you've been told. It's just kind of a polite thing, but maybe that'll help you out with knowing what not to do in Denmark. Another one that could also help you again at the dinner party or really just eating with Danes is don't avoid skål. Skål is cheers, so it's what you say a lot of times when you're eating. They'll take up their glass and they'll say skål. Don't avoid skål. And what I mean by that is you pick up your glass, you listen to whatever they have to say, you say skål when everybody else says skål, and then you take a drink and put it down. If you don't go through these steps and you avoid the skål, that can be something that looks as disrespect. Like, hey, why don't they want to cheer with us? The person who is initiating the skål is happy that you're there and wants to kind of share in this happiness with you. So if you're not going through the whole process, then you're not really sharing the love. So share the love and don't avoid the skål. The next one has to do with traffic, and this is my number 7. If you are driving on a road that has 2 lanes going in the same direction, the right lane is the slow lane and the left lane is the fast lane. Duh, right? We all know this. This is the same way in other countries. But in Denmark, you do not pass someone in the right lane. So just be prepared. If you want to pass someone, you have to do it in the left lane. There are certain rules of the road, perhaps your rules of the road that we have in the US that not everybody follows. Yeah, we normally pass people in the left lane, but then when you get into a big city and you have 6 lanes and everybody's zoom, 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 it gets to be a little crazy. Don't pass somebody in the right lane. You have to move over and pass in the left lane. Another one that has to do with traffic is my number 8, and that is don't jaywalk. This is very, very similar with the countries in Europe. You could see a lot of people waiting on the sidewalk to cross the street, and a car might be nowhere in sight, but they will not cross unless they get the green light. In the US, we have kind of a crosswalk sign that says don't walk in red, and then it will say walk in white. Very specific, right? But we don't always pay attention to it. We should, but we don't all the time. In Denmark and other European countries, you can get a fine for jaywalking. So it is very important, especially to teach younger people and foreigners, that they need to make sure they're waiting for the green. So there's a green and a red light. Red light, stop. Green light, go. There you go. Number 9 is one that you probably have heard or maybe even have read on my blog with all of my different weird experiences. Sometimes I get a little bit more in depth on my blog because I have more time to write and I just kind of like let it all out. Number 9 would be don't go into a swimming pool without taking a shower first. You will be looked at by the lifeguards. They will probably even tell you to go back in and take a shower. One time, I actually did everything that the cartoon poster on the wall told me to do, wash in all the specific areas, but it didn't wash my hair because I thought, you know what? I'm not getting my hair wet. I don't want to have to deal with my hair. I'm just gonna put it up and just not worry about it. Oh my goodness, that was the wrong choice. The lady made me go back in and wash my hair. And I'm thinking, I'm not even really going to be getting in the water. My feet are in just so my babies don't drown. You know what I mean? I didn't really want to go swimming, but she made it such a big deal. And I know in the US, we don't always shower before we go into the swimming pool. Yes, that's kind of disgusting, and I've talked about that before, but I don't know. I don't know why it's such a big deal. Why can't I just say I'm not going to get my hair wet and have her believe me and trust me and say, okay, you know, all right, you washed all your other stuff, whatever. But just to save yourself the hassle of don't go into a swimming pool without fully showering. I mean, as if you are showering for the day at your house. Get it all clean. Get it all whatever. Do as the cartoon poster tells you to do. And here we come to my last one, number 10. And in reality, I think there could be a lot more, but I'm just picking the first 10 that kind of come up in my mind, right? Number 10 is don't look in windows in Denmark. As I mentioned before about like your physical space and give people some space out in public, when you are home, you may have your windows completely open. It might be pitch black outside and you have all this light in your house. People could see everything that's going on in your house. But it is an understood rule in Denmark that you don't look in people's windows. That's just something you don't do. In the US, if we don't want people looking in our windows, we would close the blinds. We would close the curtains. We would make sure that you couldn't see in. But we would leave them open if we didn't really care if people saw inside our house. There are people sometimes who sit at their windows and wave to people as they walk by. I'm thinking maybe old people, I don't know. Lots of different people. My kids waved to some other kids out the window the other day. As Americans, if we have our windows open, we don't generally feel weird if other people look in. That's just maybe my point of view. I don't know. Maybe because I would wave to my neighbor. If I was in my kitchen looking out the window and I saw my neighbor, I might wave to my neighbor and not feel weird about it. My neighbor wouldn't feel weird about the fact that they were looking at my window. I don't know, because it was left open. But in Denmark, we have, I swear, like 50 windows in our house, and not even half of them have curtains because people just don't look in your windows. But it's kind of funny because my neighbors were walking by and I'm at the kitchen, I'm doing dishes, I swear I'm always in that window. But my neighbors go by and I noticed that the guy looked in, and so I waved to him and he's like, you know, probably thinking, oh, you caught me. Oh, I just did something bad. But to me as an American, I don't think anything of it. I'm just like, hey neighbor, let's be friends. You know, and he's, I don't know, I probably touched a nerve there. Maybe you won't want to talk to me at our next neighborhood function. Well, there you have it. Those are my top 10 things of what not to do in Denmark. I hope it has helped you in some way understand a little bit about how the Danes are and maybe how to integrate with them or work with them. What do you think about the things that I have on this list? Do you feel that they are very much of how Denmark is? Or do you feel like, maybe in certain places these rules more apply? Let me know in the comments. Are you from another country, and do you feel that a lot of what I've said resonates in your own homeland? Let me know in the comments. Where are you from? What's it like there for you? How was your experience a little different, or maybe the same as what I've experienced here in Denmark? Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I'm really having a lot of fun here connecting and communicating with a lot of you in the comments and making the videos. Don't forget to ring the bell. And I know there are a lot of you out there who are watching these videos who have not yet subscribed. Jump on board, people. Let's go. Click on that red subscribe button and you will get my videos sent to your home screen every time I post something new, so you could just see what's she gonna be talking about now. Do you have any questions for me, things that you'd like to know that I haven't covered in any of my videos? Put it in the comments and I'd like to bring it up in one of my upcoming videos. Thanks for coming along with me and I hope to see you soon. Take care.